Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about a story I covered already, and I spoke briefly about it, but more information has come out, and I really want to get into this because it's a couple of things in this I want to address. The story I'm talking about happened this past Wednesday out there in Frisco, Texas. Shout out Frisco, Texas, in which a high schooler who was a football player and had a twin brother by the name of Austin Metcalf was stabbed at a track meet. He was stabbed by this young man right here, Carmelo Anthony, age 17, who supposedly was sitting in the section where football players, it was under a tent where football players, were designated to sit, and Austin and Carmelo Anthony got into it over seating, and Carmelo Anthony supposedly stabbed him one time, Mr. Metcalf, and he died. Now this story is the story that won't die. They talk about this thing almost every day, and more information has come out, and I'm trying to hold back what I want to say, but I want you to look at these two videos because it paints a type of picture that I don't like, and I want you guys to see it. But I mean, media does this, whether it's directly or indirectly, a lot of times when somebody's a victim of a violent crime. And I'm gonna come back with my commentary. I'm gonna say some things some people won't like, some people may not like, but I'm looking at a lot of these comments and what they're saying, and some of the stuff I don't agree with. And it's a lot of questions in this, and it's not enough answers to it. Take a look.
Well, there are new details in the deadly stabbing at a track meet in Frisco. In an arrest report obtained by NBC5, the suspect reportedly told police that he acted in self-defense. The new information comes as outrage grows over the senseless killing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. Our Meredith Yeomans visited a Frisco restaurant with a close connection to the victim's family.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Halo Pizzeria in Frisco
18-inch heritage, no mushrooms.
is where food and family mix.
It's just really, there's no words to describe how just heartbroken like our family is over this. Have a great day.
Carrie Ordas is co-owner of the restaurant where Megan Needham worked alongside her twin sons, Hunter and Austin Metcalf.
You know, Mama Megan, she is just like your classic mom. You know, she took the job as a second income to help, pay for the boys, with all the football and different sports that they were doing.
All she says, so the twins could achieve their dreams that were dashed for Austin in a matter of minutes.
The devil just needed a foothold in that day, and he saw it and he took it.
At a track meet at Kirkendall Stadium Wednesday morning, Frisco police say Austin was stabbed by 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony. A newly released arrest report details how a tense situation escalated when Austin told Anthony he was sitting under the wrong tent. A short time later, the report says Austin grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and that Anthony pulled out a knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest.
It was just so unnecessary.
The report says a school resource officer from Staley Middle School next door was first on scene. It says Anthony told the officer, quote, "I was protecting myself. He put his hands on me," and when the officer announced he had the alleged suspect, the report says Anthony responded, quote, "I'm not alleged. I did it."
I woke up and thinking it was just kind of a dream and not real.
Ordas knows nothing will bring Austin back, but she started a GoFundMe for Megan and Hunter and will hold a fundraiser soon.
We want to help in any way we can.
For a family hit by tragedy too close to home. The suspect, Carmelo Anthony, is charged with murder. Tonight, he remains in the Collin County Jail on a $1 million bond, and we have been unable to reach anyone on his behalf. Reporting live tonight, Meredith Yeomans, NBC5.
Thank you, Meredith. Tracking new details in that deadly stabbing at a track meet in Frisco on Wednesday morning at Kirkendall Stadium. Frisco police say 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was stabbed by 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony. And this morning, Frisco police issued a warning about a reportedly fake Facebook account posting what they call false and misleading information about this case. Our Larry Collins following that story for us this morning from Frisco. Larry?
Yeah, good morning, Evan. Yeah, this is a case really that has captured a lot of national attention. Now this morning, Frisco police trying to get ahead of information that they say is from a fake account and that it is misleading. Frisco police say they became aware of this social media account claiming to be the chief of police. They say the post had information that was false and was misleading. They say there will be criminal charges in this matter. All this comes as we learn now more from a police arrest report. In that report, it details how a tense situation escalated when Austin Metcalf, a 17-year-old, told a 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony that he was sitting under the wrong tent. The report says a short time later, Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move and that Anthony pulled out a knife and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest. The report says a resource officer from Staley Middle School next door was the first on scene. It goes on to say that Anthony told the officer he was protecting himself and that he said Metcalf put his hands on him. NBC5 had a chance to speak with attorney Russell Wilson for some insight into the case as it pertains to the idea of self-defense. Keep in mind, he is not representing anyone associated with this case.
And his defense may argue, for example, for a lesser homicidal offense. They may say that this is a manslaughter or that this is some other offense than a murder that perhaps may have a smaller range of punishment. Or they may say that for some reason, self-defense here. I'm not sure. I don't know, again, all the facts either. But I think that both sides would very quickly begin their investigation.
And based on what we know this midday, Anthony could face from 5 to 99 years if convicted. Live in Frisco, Larry Collins, NBC5.
No.
Guys, you seen that stuff that was out, the new information, and you got to look through the lines of this. And I'm going to be honest with you. Two things I want to talk about today. First thing is this. They're making this whole situation. Now, you know, we in America, so race plays a big issue in a lot of stuff, right? Which I try to stay away from it. But, you know, you have crimes where it's black doing something to white and vice versa, whatever. And depending on who's the aggressor, it puts America in a whole uproar. I'm going to tell you, I gave you my synopsis of what I think happened. It ain't about, you know, because like the big thing people are not looking at is, remember, these are still teenage kids, number one. Number two, what led up to the stabbing of this young man. In the information in the arrest affidavit that you've seen was he put his hands on this guy and tried to forcefully get him to move up under the tent where it's football players only, right? Now, when I first did this video and the first little bit of the story came out, the way it was made up was like, okay, he went over there, told him to move, and for some odd reason, he reached in the bag and said, touch me and see what happens. I'm not going to move. It was like almost like a pissing contest between two young men. And I addressed it as such according to what was happening. But now that more information come out, you got to look at it for what it is. And we still on the first point. These are two kids, right? One of them, hey, you don't belong over here, this and that. Now they said he tried to forcefully remove him. Then he got stabbed. So basically he put his hands on him first to move him. You shouldn't even have to get to that point. Shouldn't have to get to that point. Another thing in the defense of Mr. Metcalf, Mr. Anthony shouldn't have had no fucking knife at all. Why you got a knife at school? You know what I mean? I forgot to add that in the last one. You guys in the comment section made that makes sense. Why you got a knife at school? How bad is this high school? Excuse me. Then on top of this, they saying this guy went to the same school. I don't know if he went to the same school. Some people say he was at a different school. It don't even matter. The bottom line is, if you were sitting somewhere where you were supposed to, and the guy wouldn't move when you asked him to move, you know what I'm saying? You could have went and got somebody to move him. So that's the big thing. You're seeing they're painting a type of narrative where you got the all-American boy, you know, coming from a God-fearing Christian family, and so on and so forth, a good guy. This, you don't know your kids when they interact with other kids. They're showing family members, they're going in his background, what he was doing, what he was about, how good a person he was, how this, how that. They're not doing that for him. And I have a problem with that. He admitted I stabbed him. Then he asked, was he okay? Because he didn't mean to kill him. But I'm going to tell you something. You don't know what's going on. Then he got a twin brother. These are football players, so they got some size on him. I don't know how big Mr. Metcalf is. But 2 versus 1. And another thing is, what role did his brother play? Because they twins, you know they're going to get down for whatever. So if one grabbed him, what was the other one doing? We got to look at it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to vilify this kid. You know what I'm saying? He was wrong for having a knife. Let's get that out. But I'm not going to vilify this child because I don't know what happened there. It's too many questions. And we all as men know how it is when we was younger, and ain't nobody going to push us around. Everybody puff their chests out and want to be bigger and badder than they are. Either way, like I said, kids should govern themselves. But nowadays, man, everything is the death blow. I got to be to the death. This whole thing, make no mistake, is wrong. But what I think is wrong, too, is the fact that this guy right here stabbed him, didn't run away, said he did it. You know, said it was self-defense or whatever. Shouldn't have had a knife. I understand that. But you know what I'm saying? I think it's more to the story than what they're being put out there. But they're painting it like he was a hero and this is a villain. I can't allow that. I got to be honest. Got to be honest on my platform. There are other platforms that are right about the black or white. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Because when it comes down to it, it just comes down to, in my opinion, 2 people with a disagreement that went far past where it should have been. Don't know what was said. But I do know, I just think it's foul where they did all of that stuff on his background, but ain't nobody saying nothing about this kid and who he was. You know what I'm saying? But either way, you look at it for what it is, don't know what was said. I think it was more of the talking that built this thing up to where it got physical, and then this happened. I told you, life is about cause and effect, especially with men. You know what I mean? And then another thing is this, and I don't mean to be offensive to women out there. They get women on TV a lot of times speaking from a sympathetic standpoint, you know what I'm saying? And a standpoint of feelings to invoke a certain type of way in you to think. And I'm like, I don't think they should do that when men be going through stuff, because like men understand men. You know what I mean? If you look at the comments in a lot of different videos about these stories, look at the men comments and then look at the women comments. Women come from a point of feeling. Men come from a point of logic. Okay, I ain't gonna let nobody grab me and manhandle me. Then again, you don't even know. Another thing is, Austin and Carmelo may have gotten to it, but that might have been the end part of it. Of course, there's other football players there that could have rah-rahed that shit up. There's so many things in this thing, man. But I mean, I can't just vilify this young man. What he did was vile. But I can't vilify him if he stood there and was accountable for it. Yeah, I stabbed him. You know what I mean? Ain't no alleged, I'm the one that did it. He took ownership of it. So evidently something in him must have thought it was right. Excuse me. Must have thought it was right to do what he did because he felt like he was threatened. Remember, Austin, he got a twin brother, and I'm not vilifying them. I don't know. But you know, a lot of times when you're standing there as a man and you got backup and you're arguing with somebody else and they give you an ultimatum or a line to cross in the sand, a lot of times with the ego as a boy and other people watching, sometimes you have to cross said, you feel like you have to cross said line in the sand. And I think it was pressure. He grabbed him and it cost him his life. I think a lot of people is lying about what really happened because it'll look bad. But they say they got it on camera. We'll see. Put it out there. That's all I got to say about it. I'm gonna leave this shit alone. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I just felt the need to come back on here and show you sometimes in the media how they do. Yeah, he's a victim. And they go into his background of why he didn't deserve to die and this and that, this and that. And it just goes into, okay, yeah, this guy stabbed him. He faces this, he faces that. What's caused this? You understand what I'm saying? I ain't feeling it. See you in the next video. Take care. Leave me a comment below. You agree or disagree?